Are we up? Yay! So, hello everyone. Welcome to Midweek Gaming. I finally got it right this time. And I'm back after 2 weeks. 2 weeks of in Italy. I was on a business trip, so I was unable to be in the videos for the last 2 weeks. Though, from what I've been told and seen and heard, Justin did well. He didn't sink the channel. Views were good.
Didn't get
He didn't.
sent to jail. You're literally going and saying, yeah, the hunter didn't go get sent to jail. Oh yeah, the Invis boy didn't go to jail. I wonder why.
I didn't make any references about that, but fine, we'll go with that. But
I'm
anyways,
just
but
gonna
yeah,
say it for
no.
what it is. It's a little difficult in more ways than one.
Anyways, so I'm back on the show. Like I said, I'll be doing the shows as well from here on out, continuing because, like I said, I'm back.
Not
I'm
gone.
not sure how I'm gonna step off this point, but yeah, no. So back to business as usual. This week we actually decided to do since Season of the Deep is now officially out as of yesterday, we decided to talk about it, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about while we do one of the seasonal activities. First off, before we even get into the content of the season itself, we first were able to get it, when you were able to get it, because funny enough, when the season first came out, there was an extended maintenance. I remember trying to get on at like 1 when the season first came out, and ended up getting on at like 4 because of all that nonsense.
Yes.
And
I started playing a little bit last night. Oh, error code.
speaking of
Let's
stability,
let's segue
Speaking of
into our
stability.
first topic today.
Speaking of network stability,
So, Bungie, I understand you're trying to be pushing something nowadays. I can't really say
something.
what because I can't really say it's story because I don't know where
Lightfall.
that's I don't know where that's going half the time. I mean, you're kind of starting to pick up the pieces here and there with the seasons, but still doesn't help. Then overall gameplay, well, you're changing that a few times here and there on us all, and you're screwing over some people and making things lovely for
My
others.
guy. My guy, you're sounding like a Karen.
Yes.
That is not a good thing. That was not a compliment.
Yes.
Let's try it one more time.
Either way, right now, one of the biggest problems I would say Destiny has, Bungie, please, if you're listening, praise the Lord, not Gabe Ben, but Bungie
Oh, just
themselves.
talk. Oy.
Fix the networking. Networking stability is off the charts with
Uh,
what's going on right now. This activity, Salvage, I tried to play yesterday and I had a
there we
couple of problems. The game started like it is now, but I was stuck in a black screen, probably with the same thing with other people. While we were loading in, it sounded like we were loading into the activity and spawned, but we weren't able to do anything because
Here,
I'm
you try it
guessing.
as you're the leader. Let's see if that
Okay,
makes a difference. Just humor my experimentation.
but yeah, it was a little interesting because of the fact that me and other people were likely stuck in the activity, but we couldn't move around or do anything because I guess the game was still loading in other people, which begs the question: why was the activity started if other people were still loading? So yeah.
I the network has been always an issue with Bungie, and people are like, the spaghetti code is real. We all
Mhm.
know that. So the question is just like,
Well, here's the thing. I know I like to reference it a lot, but Spaghetti Code is pretty crazy in Team Fortress, but I wasn't expecting it to be this mad, especially with the networking and it for Bungie and Destiny. Like, there are some serious problems where people connecting together, especially with activities like a 6-man activity that requires 6 people, going and having networking problems. And the biggest problem here is some may ask, well, maybe it's you. Maybe you're having some errors. Not all of the errors I get, at least, are referencing me. Some of them
okay,
do,
not just me then.
maybe,
Yeah,
but
in this case, it's just me.
some of them do reference me having a problem, but not all of them. A lot of them I've been having, especially last season, have been the server and Bungie themselves having problems.
And yeah, we get that the actual engine itself is very old. The network,
Yes.
the tech is very old. And maybe when Destiny 3 finally comes out, when it ever comes out, because I'm wagering it will at some point,
Maybe.
that'll probably fix some stuff because again, that'll be able to like use more modern hardware. Because remember, technically Destiny 2 came out on the PS2. PS3, not PS2, my god. PS, oh my gosh. PS3 going into the PS4. No, actually, no, I think it was PS4 exclusive. I think it was PS4 exclusive. And yet we're now on the PS5. And that's just the I'm not mentioning Xbox here because, same logic, just different, different company.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
that's like several years worth of hardware differences.
Here's the thing. The engine may be old, but it doesn't particularly explain as to why there should be problems with simple connections. Like, simple network connections. The engine itself is old, and there's going to be bugs with that, where it's expected there's a chance that you might crash. But networking itself and connections between the network shouldn't be bugged.
So we'll just have to see at this point. But yeah, no. Network is definitely an issue that needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, the new season is only just out, so there's going to be issues with that, but whatever. We'll see. Speaking of the season, let's go more onto the season itself.
Yeah.
So Season of the Deep, like I said, is finally out before. Or as I said before, Season of the Deep is finally out, and we're finally able to experience Thalassophobia 3.0. I make a jest in Fife's instance, but honestly, it's interesting. If you have a fear of deep water, I don't know if I recommend this season, legitimately. I mean, in fairness, there are underwater sections, which is what I'm getting at here.
Yes.
But I mean,
it's not as crazy as Subnautica or something.
Not like Sea of Deep or like Subnautica, right?
Yeah.
Where you just get thrown into open water.
You're basically just walking in open air, but instead you're just very slow.
Well, isn't that just water in general?
Yes, but that's the thing. Like, you're basically just walking on the ground very slowly.
I mean, my point is that you're not in open water, which is generally what people are afraid of when it comes to, the fear of deep water.
Yes.
Is that it's a fear of open water. So you're not generally in open water, if much at all, from what I've experienced at least. So it shouldn't be too much a problem for people like that. But
Oh, also side point, figured out how to get engrams.
Oh.
Yeah, you just pick them up. Yeah, you just pick them up.
Okay. So that actually is a nice segue.
Yeah, side point. Rahul has a new system going on right now.
Yeah, this season has introduced the concept of focusing exotic engrams. So, just like how you were able to focus legendary equipment from the seasons, now you're able to focus exotic weaponry from Rahul and exotic armor as well. With the catch that you need to have unlocked them first, so don't think this is a nice way to sidestep the ability of actually first getting them through the lost sectors. Or another version of another methodology. But if you do have at least one, and you want to, get another roll of it, then that's the nice way to go about doing. Or I don't want to say get another roll because exotics are all locked, but get another instance of it. Perhaps is a better word. Mm-hmm. Then yeah, that's a nice way of doing it. It will cost you an exotic engram though. So, Yeah.
All in all, though, it'll be interesting. I mean, it'll be a little easier in some cases to spec for a certain role if you're trying to get a role for an exotic. But for the most part, it's
interesting.
It's not
we'll see.
Bad, but
a side note also about Season of the Deep: fishing is now a thing. They introduced fishing, and we now have an aquarium, which it's interesting.
Yep. You can go fish.
Yeah, you can go fish. Literally, the quest is called Go Fish, so, riddle me that. But whatever.
Riddle me this, Batman.
Riddle me that, Batman. Honestly, though, Season of the Deep is proving interesting. Like I said, it's mostly centered around Titan. We figured Titan was coming back. I'm not sure how much of the leaks proved to be true for this season, because I know there was a big controversy around Season of the Deep and its stuff being leaked, among other things for the next season. So, and I've never seen those leaks. I don't know what's in them. I've gotten hints and alludings to like people and their massive like those who decide to just say F it and put the like a bit of it in their thumbnail because they really do not care. But other than that, I really don't know how much of the leaks have been proven true. I mean, obviously, Titan was coming back. We kind of already knew that.
Yeah, ancient enemy on Titan and all.
Yeah, which turns out to be a giant whale fish thing. Turns out the long boy in the
we
scoop
don't
is
know
actually
exactly what it is.
It's like a giant whale thing, I believe the lore tab. I believe some lore tabs refer to it as like a giant whale fish thing. It definitely ain't no Ahamkara, and it definitely ain't no worm god.
We have maintenance that needs to be done, and this area is too dangerous for
So,
Guardian. Let's get to work.
It's proving interesting. Oh, by the way, side note, we finally get to hear what Zevo Wrath sounds like.
Yes.
I think the voice is pretty fitting. It's on point with what you'd expect of a war god. So, I thought we'd actually hear
with what you would expect of a war god.
Yes, I'm not very great when it comes to descriptions.
First
Honestly,
thought,
though,
what is a war god supposed to sound like?
Insert Kratos screaming. But honestly, though, yeah, no, it's honestly quite nice. I think they nailed it rather well. I don't know if you would describe it as nice, but like I said, descriptions have never been my great strong suit. Honestly, though, yeah, I think they nailed the voice work, so props to whoever did the voice of Zebu. I thought we were going to hear it a lot closer to Final Shape, but I guess not.
Well, it makes sense that it starts getting introduced now, even if they don't want to go and have Zebu Wrath actually be like a character that you interact with. It makes sense that they start doing that, because that's kind of what they started to do with before Witch Queen.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Witch Queen's like Savathun was introduced, like her voice work only just before Witch Queen came out, like the season prior.
Yeah.
So this is quite a few seasons ahead. Oops, someone got through. Oh well. But other than that, yeah, no. So it makes you wonder, like, how soon are we to actually see what Zevo Wrath's model looks like? We've only had guesswork of what she looks like at this point. So maybe we'll see her.
Let those past.
Sit in front of the portal. You shall not.
No, I literally supered one that was about to go through. Like, no, I don't care that you're an acolyte. I will stop you.
Only the thralls you're supposed to stop from the portal, but you're just like, nah, nothing gets through. Nothing is worthy. But yeah, no. Honestly, this season's proven to be quite interesting. I'm wanting to see what they'll do with Sloane's character. Zavala is, again, back in the season, obviously. But with the death of Lance Reddick, obviously, it will raise questions as to how long we'll keep seeing his voice work. Obviously, all the voice work for this season's obviously done. But I'm wondering if it'll be next season we stop hearing him, or the season after that, and what they'll even choose to do with his character going forward.
Yes. Some people are thinking he'll probably be killed, so yeah.
Some people are thinking he probably might be killed. That is very much a good point to raise, honestly. I don't know. I don't know. It makes you wonder what will how he'll die. I have my own theories as to how he might die. I think he might even die in this season. Ironically, through Sloane. But maybe I will hold off on sharing that theory in most before we get more information. This is just my own back of the hand theory, so to speak, at this point.
Don't know for sure, so.
Yeah. But, you know, we will see. It'll be unfortunate to lose Zavala's character. We don't even know what they're going to do with Zavala at this point, so... It's possible that they might kill him off. It's possible that they might just leave him there and just retire him, so to speak. But, I don't know. On one hand, you know, Lance Reddick did a lot for the community when it came to the voice work. You know, he was loved in the community for doing Zavala, and he loved the community itself, so it feels right that they would retire his character. But on the other hand, I don't want to see Zavala get killed off as a character.
Mm-hmm.
So, we will see what happens. Other than that, though, what do you think of the season, though, as if it stands right now, Justin?
So far the content and where it's going is all right. I'm just more concerned mainly about networking, and of course it's the beginning of the season, so it's a given at the moment. But
Yeah, it's a given. If this continues throughout the entire the rest of the season,
if it's like last season where I'm literally at the tail end of the season, but I'm still getting the same networking problems that I got at the start, then yeah, I'm gonna be a little unhappy.
we'll see though. Yeah, the season is overall it is not bad as far as seasons go. The content doesn't feel too the content feels fresh what they're using. Like, it's not just another go here, I want to say it's not just another go here, shoot that, and that's literally what we're doing, but the context is at least slightly different compared to prior. When it comes to the overall tone, like I said, we're on Titan, so that'll be interesting. A lot of people wagered that Titan would come back through, some meddling of the pyramids, but it just kind of showed up again.
I think it involves probably the raid during Lightfall, because of the fact that you were on the same ship the Witness was on, and it seemed to have a connection between the taken planets.
You would think, but so far from all I've read of the lore tab so far, nothing even alludes to that. From what it sounds like, it just kind of showed up again. So it seems everyone was very off the mark on that one, which you'd think we would be when it comes to that was the planets, that was the planet room, maybe that was there, maybe something we did there helped the planet come back,
maybe the very
nope.
fact that we went and did what we did there, it brought it back anyways. No, all right.
Yeah, you'd think, but turns out nope. It's just
all right. Good to see things get connected together.
Yeah, you'd think, but nope, just there. Titan just showed up again. So, really? Who's the Titan that decided to put a bubble right on top of the ritual site?
Why not?
Now I can't shoot out of the ritual site.
That's the point.
You're
not supposed
to. Anyways.
Also, right off the bat, it feels more and more like Risk Runner would still work with my Arc loadout, which goes and brings me to the new exotic weapon this season.
That is a good one to raise, the new exotic weapon. We were actually talking about it before the stream, and I personally like auto rifles. At first, I thought it was a fusion rifle just by its design, but it's apparently an auto rifle, and I don't mind because I like auto rifles, and there's anti-barrier auto rifle this season, so that'll work at least. But he seems to think that Risk Runner might still work better.
Well,
I don't run.
I think Risk Runner will work better for me, not in general.
Yeah.
Just with my play style and what I do.
Yeah.
This weapon rewards you for running around and not actually reloading, and by running around it'll reload. So, although it rewards you for doing that, it's just not.
Oh yeah, it does reload.
Yeah, it reloads on its own by running, so it rewards you by basically running and gunning.
Yeah, I honestly didn't notice that part.
I would say this is a good weapon for the playstyle that I like, where it's pick classing, where it's the roaming pick classing, but it's not really good for my overarching style, which is just clear out a room as quickly as possible, take down the boss. So.
Yeah, it's as far as auto rifles go, it's not bad.
But yeah, I can give a quick demonstration. So basically how this weapon works is when I stop running, overcharge capacitor will drop. If I start running, it'll refill. If I walk, it'll drop. So I have to keep running if I want it to stay active. And then it'll charge if you're shooting a target. But the moment I go and reload, it'll immediately drop.
Yeah,
when it's charged, you go and get a slight increase in range and damage, and getting a kill will go and make a target explode with a burst of arc energy. So it's good in a number of ways, but yeah. Also, you got like four things.
Wow, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here talking. Everyone's just like, okay, best dress this. Everyone just gave me best dress.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you got like a King Callus look going on, so.
Yeah, I got like a king look going on here.
And then I just look like some weird fallen scaver.
No, yeah, you're on the
Like-
far right.
No, well, I'm right beside you on my screen,
Yeah, okay.
but
In my screen, you're like on the far right, but yeah, no. But
yeah. But that's basically the weapon. There is a catalyst for it. You can get it from Banshee, and I can't remember
do
what
not
it
know what
does
it
off
does
the
yet.
top of my head. I think it just gives you a little extra range and whatnot. Like it just, well, no, it's the catalyst pairs with arc more. It pairs with arc
Yeah.
more. That's,
I'm imagining it'll probably
that's the main
do-
thing that I can remember.
I imagine that'll give you something like I imagine it'll give you something when you're actually the overcharge, like when you actually pick up an arc, like
Yeah,
bolt
yeah,
and
it
overcharge.
involves arc and being amplified. But
Yeah, and amplified. That's the word.
again, to me, it feels better to be using Risk Runner because of the fact that every time I'm amplified, I immediately go and get the buff that Risk Runner provides, which is infinite ammo and arc damage, arc chaining damage. So literally all I have to do is become amplified, and then I can continue being amplified because of a Risk Runner.
So, to each of their own.
Yeah. I mean, both weapons pair very nicely with arc in general.
Yeah.
It's mainly, I would say, just based off of general play style.
Yeah, honestly, just general
Like
play
that's
style.
the thing with arc. Arc is the only real subclass where you're kind of rewarded more if you have weapons that are also arc. Arc are special based, at least,
Yeah.
because there's
So-
is the special ammo reload and stuff. And oh, hey, we're here now.
Yeah, honestly, the last place we were at, it was the first time I've been there all season.
Oh,
Interesting though that everyone thought Titan would come back as a destination, and they were only half right. Like we were only half right because we thought it would be an actual patrollable space like the Leviathan kind of was, but no, this is just like a seasonal area.
yeah. No, I don't think they'll do that. I could potentially see that kind of thing happening on IO, maybe. But, yeah. I mean, the only reason I can see it happening on IO is mainly because of the Vex. Like, you've got, like, the overarching seasonal activity on IO if that's going to happen. But I could see, like, alright, well, you got the main arching story, but you also got the Vex being the Vex, and go take care of them.
I mean, in fairness, we do kind of this season have like an answer to why the pyramid ships were at each of the planets. We all kind of thought that it was just, well, we all kind of figured that there was some reason why each of the pyramid ships were at the planets they were. But now we actually know that, like, we kind of already figured that when it came to like not Nessus, oh my goodness, the one nearest the sun, I can't remember its name.
Mercury?
The one that Brother Vance was at. Yeah, Mercury. Mercury was there because of it was trying to get into the Infinite Forest. On Io, you know, it was probably there because of the Pyramidion, maybe. Also, possibly the Tree of Silver Wings. But we didn't know what it was on Titan for. But now it's kind of basically alluded to, and basically in the lore, basically saying that it was here to find the creature that we're dealing with this season. I believe it's Aisha is her name. The giant fish thing. Whale, fish person. I don't know.
The fish.
Yeah, the fish, which apparently is maybe one of the first, like her species was the first victim of the Witness,
Also,
which would
actually,
make her really freaking old.
Side point: during the first actual mission, not the initial starting mission, but the mission after you do the seasonal activity for the first time.
Right.
Depending on which path you take while in the ocean section walking around, you might find a statue that resembles, well, very well resembles a hive statue.
Really?
Yes, I took a screenshot of it just in case you didn't find it,
no.
but I found it.
No. No, I did not find that.
So,
That's
so
good on you.
again, benefit of the hunter being the pathfinder.
I'm a scholar, not a pathfinder. It's not my job.
Yes, that's why I took a screenshot of it for you.
But yeah, no. So we kind of know why the pyramid came to Titan. It was looking for Aisha, and it really started looking after, the planets were taken. And we kind of get like through the seasonal armor kind of the description from Sloane's perspective as to like what happened after the planet was taken, what happened with the pyramid. It's kind of it is interesting to kind of hear. Also, Sloane had no idea how long it's been since since she kind of went under, because apparently her ghost chronometer just shorted out after they were taken.
Which
So
basically it was probably like a week in, because she went and said she did that to go and access their quote-unquote comms.
I believe like
So-
if you look at the seasonal armor, it actually like one of the lore tabs actually describes the moment when she does that, and I think it's like day 93 when she does that. So not a week. It's certainly long after, but yeah, after a while. Which kind of makes me wonder if like her connection will strengthen her connection to Zevul Wrath as well, and maybe Zevul Wrath will compel her to kill.
Well, Zevul Wrath is kind of communicating to her and trying to influence her, so there is that.
Yeah, so I'm that's why I'm saying like I might just say my theory right now. Like I wonder if the connection will get strong enough to the point where like Zevul Wrath will influence her to kill Zavala.
Maybe.
Maybe that's possible. I don't know. Again, it's just my tinfoil hat theory at this point. We will see. Of course, the Witness's origin cutscene, because apparently there is a cutscene for that, has already been leaked.
Yes.
Season just started, and apparently that's already been leaked.
It do be like that.
I have not obviously seen it because I want to wait until it, actually gets shown. But the fact that it's been leaked is probably a hint that it might not be far off until we actually get to actually see it in game.
Yeah.
Because generally they hold it off till like it's closer to when it'll happen.
Yeah, chances are it's supposed to come out this season, so.
Well, obviously this season. We'll learn the origin of the Witness this season. It's just like when this season. Maybe in the next 2-3 weeks, I imagine. Maybe. I can already see Byth picking apart the words that we get from the communications. It reminds me almost of Season of Arrivals, when every week we would commune with the pyramid. Except this time we're like communicating telepathically with Aisha through Sloane.
Yeah.
So,
Need you guardians down here to disarm
We will
the
see.
volatile parting gifts our friends left for us.
Overall, though, like I said, we will see how the season plays out. I'm quite interested. The fact we actually get to go underwater without instantly dying is nice, not gonna lie.
Under the water, please help me.
Please help me, I'm underwater. But, honestly... Oh, okay, there we go. I almost died there.
Yes.
But yeah, what else was I gonna mention? Remember. I cannot remember, legitimately. I'm having one of those blank moments right now where I'm like, I'll say something and then promptly forget what I was going to say. Hey. Oh wait, I have to defuse the
This
charge
looks like a
box.
stasis charge thing.
I think it's just a regular like bomb. They don't have an actual like charge.
I know, but the
Like,
coloration of stuff
Yeah,
look
no.
very stasis-y.
It does kind of.
And we're dealing with what, the purple guys? This is Dusk, right? We're dealing with Dusk.
Yeah, we're dealing. I think actually this is the. Actually, funny enough, if this is Papa lore moment.
Yep.
If you look at the actual lore tabs, it indicates this season that apparently quite a few Fallen were left on Titan after it was taken, and their brains just kind of got melted, for lack of a better term, due to influence of the pyramid ship. Though it's hard to say. This might also just be Dusk. Or not Dusk, well, actually, no. They don't have the colors of Salvation, so...
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
Salvation is just a blue. This looks
Yeah.
purpley. But
Yeah, this might just be
keep
them
in
multi-modes.
mind that the Scorn have like a purple group now, similar to that of Callus. So like
Yeah.
Callus's Shadow Legion. So yeah.
We still haven't figured out what happened to what's it called? The Fanatic. It'll be. I imagine that'll be a story beat in the season within itself. Within a season.
Potentially.
So we'll see. Diffuse it. Diffuse it. Overall, though, I'm interested to see where the Witness, how the Witness came to be. And like I said, Aisha's alluded to being like one of the first victims of the Witnesser species, or maybe the first victim. So, also the question of what the heck she's doing on Titan.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Don't worry, guys. I got it covered.
Yeah, as we all just sit here. My frames! Oh, my frames!
Too many entities then, huh?
Got ourselves a problem. Gotta get wet to take care of it. Don't drown or nothing.
Don't drown or nothing. Right.
Oh my god, Shifter. That was an aim at thalassophobic people. I just want to see people who have, like, a fear of deep water and see if they can play this season. Like, can they even? Like, we will see.
Maybe.
For those who know the community, you probably know exactly what I'm referencing. I feel bad for him. But we'll see. We will see. But,
I mean, this is
Regardless.
basically the same thing over and over at this.
Something's
It
down
might be
here,
different.
lurking in the weird.
It might be slightly variation of areas later, but for right now, it's basically the same thing, so it's not so bad.
oh, I know. It's not. I mean, when it comes to like that, but it's like it's the fear of open water, right? Or is it deep water? It'll depend. Also, this is interesting.
What?
This kind of like dome-ish thing.
Oh yeah, actually, it reminds me. You can actually see the section that we came down in outside the map here. If you go to the other section of the area where you come in, you can actually see it right over here. So, of course, you have to be watching this, but yeah, you can see it over there.
Yeah.
And there we go. Has found the ritual rune. Yeah, I sure do be finding
sure
it.
did.
I sure do be finding it.
My frames. Ah, my frames.
You're getting shot at from every angle.
Yeah, that's the problem with my PC in some cases. My frames no good.
You got no PlayStation, therefore you
I
got
don't
nothing.
got no PlayStation. I don't got no PS Power. But anyways. Overall, though. Oh yeah, one other thing that people might want to know about. Side note. The Rainmaker and Finest Matterweave consumables have officially been deprecated. Well, I say deprecated. They've been made somewhat useful still. If you have an excess like I did, you can just cash them all in for like a bunch of Glimmer and enhancement cores. Where's the prisms?
Well,
I can't remember
enhancement
what they're
cores are the
Alright, they're
upgrade
enhancement cores.
item. Enhancement core.
Well, they're both upgrade items, so. But yeah, no, a bunch of Glimmer enhancement cores.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're completely made valueless. You can still get some value out of them, but it's one way to clean up the inventory. Also, side note, I should mention this, otherwise this really wouldn't be a seasonal review. What do you think about the new edition of, what are they called? Yeah, it's becoming a common trait. What are they called? Gotta find them real quick. They're deep in the tree, dear lord. Deep Sight Harmonizers. What do you think of those? For those who don't know what Deep Sight Harmonizers are, they're a new currency introduced by Bungie, which a lot of people are showing concern over because it's another step towards almost, I want to say, pay to win. Because what the Deep Sight Harmonizer does, it allows any weapon, right? Because any weapon now has the ability to become deep-sighted that has the deep sight, you know, factor to it that can become a deep sight weapon. Even if it's not by itself a deep sight weapon, what you can do is you can cache the harmonizer in on that weapon, and it'll give it deep sight. So you can use it to cache in to further increase the amount of progress you have towards deep sighting that weapon.
Yep.
So it's kind of like it's basically a shortcut. Because for those who don't know, actual deep sight weapons drop purely through RNG, right? So that's why in the case of seasonal weapons, actually getting the buff which allows you to cache in a deep sight weapon every week is a great way to actually get a guaranteed source of those weapons. Or actually get a guaranteed source of deep sighting seasonal weapons. But when it comes to things such as like deep sighting, like for example, last season they had Leviathan weaponry, or X-Menagerie weaponry, I should say, that just dropped through random engram, that you can only get through through the actual seasonal area. Unfortunately, those could not be specifically deep sighted, so you just kind of had to get RNG. I am very low on those, but through these you can get them faster because you can just cache them in and make them deep sight weapons. So the question I'm trying to propose here, through a very long and lengthy explanation, is what do you think about them going forward? I personally think that it's a dangerous concept.
It'll probably be the same type of thing as the cosmetic modding was.
I hope not. I really hope not.
We'll
Like, okay, fine. Here's the thing, right? You can only get them through the seasonal pass right now, these harmonizers. But if they implement it as a currency you can get at the Eververse store, then it's quite literally just pay to win. And you're probably wondering, you know, why is it pay to win? Because, as someone pointed out in an article that I can't remember and probably should have actually linked in retrospect, but oh well. You'll forgive me for having just come back from my trip and not remembering to do all the paperwork. Yeah, for being a bit lazy on my first week back, or being a bit let's call it, yeah, let's just go with lazy on my first week back, but or being a bit absent-minded, I should probably say.
My mind is an enigma.
My mind is an enigma.
I didn't see you lifting anything.
Hey!
Forgive me, I'm hearing.
Ain't you a tactician? My job's the same.
Go to the
It's
EDZ and catch
logistics.
fish. Go catch fish.
Logistics.
I might have also been eating
All in
lunch.
all, though, my question that I'm trying to ask here is that what do you think of this ever becoming an Eververse? Like, I hope it's not an Eververse currency, and as I was saying,
Probably will, seeing
I
that
hope
I could probably go into the store right now.
it's not at the moment.
Well, no, it's holy crap, Bungie. What's going on with your game? What's going on with your game? I went into
do
the
you
store and everything started to lag like hell.
Oh, calm down. That's maybe just you. Anyways, let's get out of this for the moment.
Yeah, here. Well, actually, I might as well be nice and see if anyone's still here. Yes, some people are still here.
But
you get rewarded for your efforts for staying. There we go.
thanks. I kind of have to though. But you know, in the case of like the reason a lot of people say that this could be a step towards pay to win, unfortunately, is because pay to win is right. Because with the deep sight weaponry, for those who don't know, you can basically use deep sight weaponry. And again, this is explained to people who don't know. I imagine most people who watch this video know, but for those who don't, this allows you to basically make a custom weapon of that model. So the perk pool, you can customly choose. You can customly choose a lot of the stuff. Basically, you can make a god roll weapon on demand. Which, in the case of PvE content, isn't so bad. If this were a PvE-based game, I'd say whatever. Because everyone's working towards the same goal, right? So if someone has a god roll, they're just more efficient at killing, but it's not, it's not a big deal.
So yeah,
But there is a massive PvP aspect to this game. So the ability to make god rolls on demand is a big thing. And people grind, like those who are into the PvP sector, grind for god rolls quite a bit. So Deep Sight was, at its original introduction, quite a good thing. But now they're trying to almost like step towards potentially monetizing that. that's concerning because that quite literally is a step towards pay to win.
So, yeah, right off the bat, synthetic weave, that is one of the things that is still something you can pay for in order to be able to go and customize like your armor and how it looks. And although it's
Yeah.
literally just customization, and sure, it's okay. Real quick, cordyceps set, my boy, cordyceps set. What
For what?
are
Oh yeah, no. Okay, that's another thing. Thank you for
um,
bringing that up. That is something I should remember before I forget. Like, let's finish this one thought, and I'll go on to that one
yeah.
first. Thank you for reminding me. But overall, I hope it doesn't get put into the deep site store because again, it's very controversial just putting in the synthweave stuff, which is purely for cosmetics. But it's purely cosmetics, so it's very concerning, but it's not too big of an issue right now. But if
Oh,
they do the same thing with the harmonizers, then that is a very big issue because that is quite literally pay to win. So I hope desperately that they don't. But we'll see what wins out. Morals or capitalism at the end of the day, and guess which one I'm wagering my money on.
yeah.
So for the time being, I hope it's only, and even then, the deep side harmonizers, as far as I can see, like they're a mixture between the base pass and the actual like paid pass for the season. So, like it's already kind of there as is. We'll see. Like I said, I just hope it doesn't become more than just like a currency that can be acquired through the seasonal pass and maybe through some
It just
specific
allows you to
challenges.
bypass entire swaths
Well, I
of the
mean,
game while other people have to grind it out if they don't want to pay.
yeah, like again, if you're doing it through through the seasonal pass and maybe you get it through like a few challenges every now and then, like some high tier challenges, fine. But if it's purely done through the seasonal pass and maybe through some high tier challenges, fine. It is what it is. It's not a bad concept in theory. But if you make it part of the Eververse store, then we have problems. That's where issues come in. Because remember, that is quite literally pay to win at that point, and I will bet my money, all of it, that there will be a major backlash that comes from that. So we will see.
See where it
I just
goes.
hope it does not. Yeah, I just hope it doesn't go that far
Oh yeah.
and
Also,
goes the other way.
quick side note.
Hmm.
Apparently, on Nick's side, I am rank 6, but
I knew he'd
technically
bring
I'm
this up.
supposed to be rank 5. Something interesting going on here with the ranking system. It's not really that big of a deal, but it's something interesting is going on here.
Yeah, we were discussing this, and I think it's just a glitch.
Yeah,
Interesting point, though, I should bring up.
it's an interesting one though.
Interesting point I should bring up about it, though. By the sounds of it, like every season, the Guardian rank will get reset back to either 6 or 5, depending on how they're doing it now. I think it may be 5 now, because I had to rank up to 6 now as well. But I think what they might be doing is that every thing, it'll go back down to 5 or 6. Again, we'll see. And you have to re-rank up, right? But the actual triumphs that you have to complete to go up the ranks, I think, stay between seasons. Because I know back in last season, I wasn't able to complete all the things when it comes to champions. And when it comes to overload champions and unstoppables, because that was what I was able to do a lot last season, I was able to complete those, but I wasn't able to complete the barrier champion one. So the barrier champion one was fully reset, but the overload and unstoppables haven't, despite the fact I haven't touched any of those two champions this season. So it's possible that there are some aspects of the seasonal pass that will completely reset every season that you have to re-earn, but there are some permanent ones between seasons that will not. For example, Nightfalls have fully been unlocked, and again, I haven't done any Nightfalls this season, but I did last season. Champions, almost fully unlocked, but not because I haven't finished it, but last season I did. Lightfall, obviously, will stay there. So it seems like there are some things that are seasonal based that you'll have to re-earn every season to get up the ranks, but there are also some things that will just stay there. So it's not like you're gonna have to regrind everything every time the Guardian ranks get reset per season.
Yes.
So it's not that bad.
Also,
But
going back to it, you went and said that there was something specific going on with the Cordyceps
I
bundle.
was getting to that.
All right, just
I
making
was
sure on
getting
that
to
front.
I was getting to it. That was literally my next point.
All right.
So, thank you for reminding me. Recently, they announced just before Season of Deep that they would be doing another crossover. For those who don't know, though I'm shocked at this point if you haven't, if you're following anything to do with Sony or Bungie, that Bungie is now owned by Sony. So, as a result, there have been a few crossovers. They have a lot more funding, at least I'm assuming. And Bungie recently has been doing a few crossovers as the last few seasons. Back in season of Arrivals, I believe it was, they did a crossover with Fortnite and had a few Fortnite armors and stuff came to
Well, no,
Fortnite.
I don't think it was Arrivals. I think it was just after Arrivals.
It might be just no.
I think
It's
it was
blurry.
after.
Regardless, sometime around that time, they did a crossover with Fortnite originally. Stuff with Fall Guys. There was Destiny stuff in Fall Guys. There was Destiny stuff in Fortnite, as well as Fortnite stuff in Destiny. I actually got some of that armor. It's actually pretty cool looking, not gonna lie, and I generally don't like Fortnite. But regardless, the next one they did was with Assassin's Creed. Got a bit of that armor too, as well as the finisher, which they introduced a new finisher as well, specific to Fortnite. Now, because of their being owned by PlayStation, they decided to do a crossover with PlayStation stuff. So now in the Eververse store, there's new armors for inspired by certain games that are big in the PlayStation catalog. So if memory serves, we have, if you're a warlock, you have stuff from Ghost of Tsushima, the Ancestral Warlock bundle, which is again just a samurai armor, ninja samurai armor. For hunters, you have Horizon Zero Dawn based stuff. For Titans, you have God of War based stuff. I don't remember what those two armors are called, so I'm just giving you stuff as a descriptor.
I'm looking at it at the Hunter one right now.
Yeah, that's the Horizon Zero Dawn base set. And they also did a set for vehicles, ghosts, and sparrows, and this one is based off of Last of Us. So if you go to the Cordyceps bundle, which again, if you know Cordyceps is again, it's a Last of Us thing, which is another big game for PlayStation. You'll have Quarantine Runner, the ship's called Blooming Terror, and of course the ghost, quite fittingly, is called Clicker, which is a big enemy type in the Last of Us games, and it's all inspired by the Cordyceps, obviously, and the look is. I think they nailed the looks. Not gonna lie. They also added a set of finishers also for this barrel as well. So From Nowhere is kind of the Horizon Zero Dawn one. Perfect Strike is based off the Ghost of Tsushima game. And of course, Whirling Chaos is obviously based off of God of War. I mean, they literally did a model of the Blades of Chaos for the
Whirling Strike. Well, no, it's not Blades of Chaos.
Well, not the Blades.
It's
I think
from
it's
the
like
Cabal
a smaller
Blades.
version of the Cabal. It's one of the Cabal Blades.
But
I had to
it's
look at it for a
actually
second time,
set up in a really nice way that makes it fitting for the world, like the Destiny setting.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's the big crossover they're doing right now with PlayStation. Introduced a bunch of new stuff. So three seasonal armor ornaments based off of three different big games from PlayStation. A set of vehicle stuff and ghost stuff based off of Last of Us, as well as finishers based off of the aforementioned three big games. Again, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, and Horizon. And I like all those three games, so I'm not complaining. It's a nice crossover.
Mm-hmm.
I might get the Ghost of Tsushima armor if it comes to the Bright Dust section. So we'll see.
See where it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, no. So that's as it is right now. We do have a new dungeon coming this season, FYI. By the sounds of it, it will be a Loose and Hive based dungeon. So I'm interested to see where that goes.
Also, real quick, you can go to the seasonal store and get rank 10 Season of Deep. Say you can get 10 season ranks by paying money.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a new 10 rank booster. It's a
Yes.
controversial topic. I don't remember if it was introduced this season. I think it was
introduced
last season.
last, yeah.
Yeah, it was introduced last season. We never talked about it. It's a 10 rank booster. It's there. I mean, it's not like it's forcing you to do it, so I don't talk about it much. It's 1,000
there.
silver, so it's not like it's exorbitantly expensive by,
It's
silver standards.
Here, I could probably check right now.
So 1,000 silver is going for about $12, not minus the 100 bonus. Technically, if you want to do 2 sets of 5, it's... Let me get my calculator out so I can give you an exact number. Of course, my thing's only at 1%, but it should last long enough to do this.
So yeah, if you want 1,000 glimmer plus a bonus 100.
Yeah, it's like $12.5.
It's about 12 bucks 50 cents in Canadian.
Yeah, $12.50.
So that's about $10 US.
So ironically, it's like a cent cheaper just to get like the next one over, and plus 100 extra. So I don't know. Each their own. But again, it's not exorbitantly expensive by silver standards.
But in all honesty, there's better things to put your silver towards.
Yeah, there's better things to put your silver towards.
My recommendation, if you want to rank up very quickly, combination of doing your seasonal challenges and keeping an eye out on which activity is getting a XP boost. Because if you stick in an activity long enough, you'll get 5 points, like a meter. And if the meter is maxed out by going and playing that activity multiple times over and over and over, you'll get more and more XP, and that'll start to stack very quickly. So on top of stacking by playing the same activity and the activity being boosted, you'll rank up quickly that way.
Yeah. So honestly, it's there are better things to spend silver towards, but yeah. Again, I don't really talk about it because it's there. It's not exorbitantly expensive, but it is something to be aware of.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable to use, especially at the end of the season, and you're like, I paid for this, and I'm gonna lose out on it if I don't hurry. Okay. But...
I mean, I could have done that at the end of last season because I was a few season things short, and I didn't know if I'd have enough time.
Well, I mean, for me, last season, I was about, just about rank 20. And before the season was up, I was 67 or something, and that was within a week. So it's not too hard, especially if you're following the idea that I gave you, which is just play the activity that's being boosted. Trust me, it works.
Honestly, it is interesting because I play multiple big MMO types games, and if you play a game a lot, it's not that hard to get up high. If you don't, then I can see why you'd want that. Like, for example, I play Sea of Thieves as well as Genshin Impact. I sometimes get to maybe halfway through the season, Sea of Deep seasonal pass for the season's up. Maybe sometimes half, a bit more. I don't think I've ever once gotten to the end, and that's just because I don't play it very often. And Genshin is it is what it is. I barely get beyond the 25th mark. So,
well, for me,
it really depends on how much you play a game, right?
I can go and say this for me at least, is last season I didn't really play much at all because I was mainly wanting to go back to Fallout 4 and just do a proper full-on playthrough of that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take my time and enjoy it.
For the 100th time.
Well, this time I'm actually planning on completing the game. Mind you, I have yet to actually complete the game by going down one of the 4 full-on roads.
Fair enough. I have the same relationship with just about every Zelda game. I've got the new one literally sitting beside me, and I'm
I get to the point where I'm at, right on the verge of, alright, go do this to complete the game, and I'm like, heh, side mission time.
Yeah, I think... Have I? I don't know, honestly. I don't know if I've ever actually finished a Zelda game. Maybe. Oh, no, I finished I finished 1 or 2 of them.
I
finished Skyward
Sword. Finished Phantom Hourglass. But the problem is my DS is very old and near broken, so I wasn't able to.
Yeah. I mean,
Well-
I think I finished a few. I think I finished. I know I finished Skyward Sword and maybe one or two others, but most Zelda games in my entire catalog, I've played almost all of them, and I've never. Basically all of them outside of like the really really old ones, like the originals, and I don't think I've ever finished any of
I'll
them. I
say
think I've finished
this. I'll say this to anyone who is listening and struggles with going through games, especially Zelda games and anything like that. Don't be discouraged to going and looking at a tutorial to help you out.
Hey, in
Younger
fairness,
me
back when
could
I
have
was
used
doing it, they
this
didn't
tip.
have them. The
Younger
younger
me,
versions of us could have.
literally younger me could have seriously used this because I was introduced to the internet a lot younger, and I loved watching YouTube and I loved playing my games, but I could never figure out what the hell I was doing, so I stopped playing the game. And then
Yeah.
I come back to it later on in my life and I'm like, my boy.
Yeah, I know. Like when you look at like I remember, okay, I played the Zelda games before like the internet guides were a thing, or maybe I was just too stupid to find them. But I remember like there is certain sections in I think like maybe it was like I don't remember which Zelda game, but I never did figure out how to get past it. And my God, the modern day internet guide is so much more helpful when you especially when you know what it's like to live in a time before internet guides.
Yeah.
Especially for Zelda games. That's why it's kind of funny. Like I said, I have the next one sitting beside me right now, and I'm like, but I should finish Breath of the Wild before I play this one. And now I'm thinking back and I'm going, wait a minute, I've never finished basically any of them, so
It's
why
like
do I even bother?
literally you're playing like the
I think it's fun.
third or eighth title of a game, and you're like, wait a minute, I've never even completed these ones.
Honestly. But maybe the reason I didn't care so much back then is because all the Zelda games were, for the most part, not direct sequels. Like, if
Oh,
you know the
that's
Zelda timeline, you know that it's all
yeah.
over the freaking place.
Well, I mean, that's the thing right off the bat. Every Zelda
None of
game's kind of its own encased time and universe.
Yeah, that's a thing, right? Like, when you
It's-
look at the actual timelines,
I would say
it's
overall the Zelda games itself all encompass the same type of story, just in different universes.
that's the thing. I really would have loved to have seen them when they first put together like the Hyrule Historia and like the timelines for all the games up until like Skyward Sword
Hmm.
or Breath of the Wild. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was
I mean,
Skyward Sword.
here's the other thing. There's nothing saying that they couldn't take place in like completely different eras down the line, because like there is one theory
They do.
where every once when like the story is complete, the world kind of gets reset and changed.
That's the thing, right?
So
If you look at the actual, I've looked at the actual Historia, and basically what they ended up doing is that it's mostly a straight path till about Ocarina of Time. Yeah, specifically that one. Then a bit of time shenanigans happen, and it splits into three different timelines. And you have like the destroyed Hyrule timeline, the fine Hyrule timeline, and the timeline where, I think the hero never even came through. So one where Link dies, one where he wins and survives, and one where he just never existed and just never showed up to begin with.
yeah.
So,
Which
and
makes
then
you
Breath of
wonder
the
which
Wild.
one's worse, the one where he failed or the one where he just wasn't even there.
I think the one where he didn't even like show up, like I can't remember what comes out of that. I remember the one where he doesn't. I think the one where he doesn't show up at all is where the world gets flooded, and that's where you get things like
Uh,
Phantom Hourglass and Skyward and Spirit Tracks and Wind Waker. Those three all came out of that timeline because the world got flooded.
yeah.
And then when it comes to Breath of the Wild, they're like, yeah, that one is so freaking far into the future that all the timelines are now moved again. So they kind of had to break the timeline to justify everything and then reconvene the millions of
We're
years in the
another
future.
1,000 years down the line. All right, everything's back
1,000
together.
years down the line that all the previous things don't matter.
I mean, it makes sense in a way because that's literally what they've done thus far. So
Yeah, so that's why none of the games feel like they're connected because they're all like, some cases, decades or even centuries apart. And
there
then
you go.
Skyward Sword is like the very first one, ironically. But whatever.
Yes.
Whatever. Just oh well. Anyways, yep, that's the season of the deep and some ranting about Zelda.
Renting
we'll
with
leave you with that.
your past and future self.
Yeah.
Anyways, hopefully you all enjoyed.
But, yeah. Yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this week's video, and see you next week.
Yeah.
Ta.
And again, we're basically set back up to the way we were, so hopefully
Yeah.
everything will be nice and organized for you and you won't miss Nick anymore.
I can just see the fans. Where is he? Where is he? I want to hear his serene voice.
Good.
And then there's gonna be like 5% of people who goes, God, nah, I can't watch this anymore because he's back. I know you're out there.
Great. I just want the monotone one.
I just want the monotone one. Great. The other guy's back. I know you're out there. I can see you. George. But anyways. Bye all.